Thank you, Lydia. And thank you, Foresight, for this opportunity. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what I'm working on right now, and it's going to be focused on aging as a replacement problem. So to get us started, I want to talk about what is aging. And there's different opinions about it, but I think the way I like to think about it is a systems failure across biological scales. So what do I mean by that? Like, we can recognize aging at different levels. We can tell the difference between a young and an old person, and we can do that for organ level pretty well using skin. But this actually happens across different scales. You can see organs, tissues, cells, molecules. They all become dysfunctional with aging. And you can measure all of them. People have done that. There's clocks for everything. You can order like a consumer clock that will tell you how old you are to some degree of accuracy. The problem is that despite all this measurements, we still don't know what causes aging. We don't know why, and we don't really know how. We just see what happens. So how do we fix a complex system where we actually do not know how it works? We don't have a blueprint for it. If we take an engineering approach, usually when you have these complex systems and they break down, you probably wouldn't spend decades or centuries trying to reverse engineering and figure out how it works. You might just replace the hardware. You might want to replace parts. So that's kind of the focus of my talk today. Can we look at aging as a replacement problem? Can we use replacement to fix these parts? And some people might say that's kind of crazy, that's weird, it's very unfeasible or really hard to make it work. But my argument is actually that's really probably the most biologically relevant and natural way that our bodies are staying young. So youth is actually high fidelity replacement. We are not static systems. Our bodies are like ships of Theseus, and they're constantly replacing molecules, cells, tissues. For example, the gut lining you change every week. The skin you change every month. Every quarter you change some of the blood cells. Liver changes about every year or so, and then bones every 10 years. So we do have a biological basis for this. This actually happens in young organisms. You have this continuous renewal. The problem is that once you start aging, usually after development is over, this kind of breaks down. You start accumulating these old cells. You don't really remove the garbage and the damage, and then this whole process takes longer, and sometimes it doesn't work at all. So this is kind of the problem, and this is what we're trying to solve. What if we can actually restore this ability and artificially make this continuous renewal? So that's the vision I have, a vision of continuous renewal where we can selectively remove dysfunctional old cells and then put new ones back. So we can have patient-derived young cells that can go to the site where we remove these cells and then make new tissue that can function properly. And the beauty about this is that we don't need to know how and why aging happens. We just need to know what parts we have to put back in and what parts we have to remove. And that's an engineering problem. That's definitely more feasible than trying to restore all the molecular pathways in all the cells at the same time. So yeah, that is what I'm working on, and you've probably heard from some other people yesterday. That's what I'm excited about, and if you're interested in this, happy to chat with you about any of this work. Thank you.
Thank you. I was wondering, do you have to worry about epigenetic drift causing immune responses? So if you put in young cells to a body that has epigenetic drift?
Yeah, I can predict, it's fine. Do I have to worry about epigenetic drift? Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a problem. When we put new tissues in, they're going to start aging the same way when you put like an old part in a new part in an old system, it's going to age. The question is like, what rate of replacement can we achieve to first stop the process and then even go back? And that's, I think, an engineering problem we're going to have to find out by trying and optimizing all that. But that is exactly the case. Once you put a new part in, it will age the same rate as a normal part would do. Thank you.